So I asked you guys to send me your Beyblade collections and Beyblade setups, and some of them are pretty big, some of them are pretty small, but they're all pretty cool. The first collection we're looking at comes from Xenos on the Discord, and he has a bunch of newer bays here. We have Brave Valkyrie, Twin Nemesis is a little bit older, Prominence Valkyrie, Guilty Longinus, Savior Valkyrie, a lot of newer stuff here. And just overall, a really nice Burst Ultimate and DB collection. He even has the Hello Kitty Bay, and I don't even have that bay. Ooh, yeah, this is from Zinc. They said, I need a new stadium, and I would absolutely agree. This is just in shambles. There's breaks and cracks everywhere. This is an OG Beyblade Burst Hasbro Stadium too, from what, like 2016? This is old. Honestly, I commend you for getting this much life out of a single Hasbro Stadium. I would look into a new one though, for sure. And here we have a modest little collection from Sentient Amazon Box on my Discord. Pretty interesting name. We've got a bunch of major hitters here. We got a couple of the Valkyries, Guilty Longinist, Zyphoid, Astral Spriggan, a lot of the legendary bays. Now, this collection from the GOAT is definitely cultured. We have a lot of MFB bays, including Hell Kerbix, which, if you didn't know, is my favorite Beyblade of all time. But a ton of Metal Fight bays with their boxes, and I love collecting boxes as well. And then we have a few of Burst bays at the bottom, Zyphoid, Diabolos, Barricade Lucifer. But overall, a really cool MFB-centric collection. Here we have Novi's collection, and while it's small, I really like how they took a picture here. You're able to see everything in good quality, good colors, and we have a good mix of bays from Sparking to even some Chozy releases. We have World Spriggan, Ultimate Valkyrie, Guilty Longinus, Judgment Joker, which is a great pick. They said they've only been collecting for a little while now, and they're getting Astral Spriggan next, which is a great bay to go for. Next up, we have Darkrai, and they said they couldn't find a lot of their other bays, so this is just their DB and BU collection. And we have a ton of bays here. Some interesting colors. I've never seen Astral with this like faded kind of color scheme before. They also don't put any stickers on the bays. You can see that the Helios and Hyperion are missing stickers. The worst of all, they didn't even put the X. Come on, bro. You've got to put the X on Excalibur. It looks naked without it. But a ton of really good bays here, and I recommend you pick up some of the X bays because they don't have any stickers at all. So it's perfect for you. And speaking of X bays, if you guys want to pick up some of the Beyblade X releases, go to Mall of Toys. They have a bunch of them up for sale, including the newly released Night Lance. And they also have the Shark Edge random booster up for pre-order right now. But go and check out Mall of Toys. Links are going to be in the description down below. And use code ilinnuc to get 5% off of your first purchase. The next collection is from Spear Phase, and this is a pretty small collection of bays. We have a lot of Hasbro picks throughout the years. And we also have some Metal Fight bays here as well. And they said it's not big, but it's a start, which I agree. You know, you have a decent stadium. You need a good launcher. That'd be what I recommend, is a good launcher for these. The next collection is from Cold Front, and they have a nice box to put all of their DB and BU bays into. We have Achilles, we have Burst Spriggan, Raphael, a lot of the later release bays. We see a couple of stadiums off to the side, a Lego container holding onto their stadiums, and this looks to be like a custom glowing Quad Strike stadium. And they also sent a picture of it in the dark, and yes, they did put what looks to be a light strip around a standard Quad Strike stadium, and you can see Lucifer is glowing here, so that's pretty cool. I think there was a Hasbro stadium that did this out of the box. It's kind of expensive, and I don't think it worked nearly as well. The next one is from Crisis Crusher, and they have a whole Beyblade wall. You can see the stadiums mounted on the wall. They have a couple of Dragon Ball Z figures. And then going to the next picture, we can see a ton of later release Beyblades. And something that I'm noticing is I see most of the pictures are for DB and BU. And because there's so many DB and BU collections, I'm wondering, when did you guys start collecting Beyblade? Let me know in the comments down below. But going back to his collection, we can see a bunch of the DB and BU classics. And okay, why? Why is your Valkyrie chip on Savior Valkyrie upside down? I think you just did that to bother me, honestly. And then you can also see the Hello Kitty Bay just waiting evilly in the background. I like that. That's not it though. They also have a competitive shelf. You can see a rare Dronzer GT in the box, a couple of the custom like gold plated Portal Zero bays, HMS releases, and a bunch of their trophies right here and more competitive Beyblades. This next collection from Rob is definitely the most diverse that I've seen so far. You have a ton of different bays from different kind of series here. You have the OG Beyblade Burst releases with Valkyrie and Death Scyther. You have God, Valkyrie, Obelisk, Odin. But then you have newer releases here as well, like Rage Longinus, Zest Achilles, Raphael. There's overall a really broad collection. This one is from Benji, and we have a standard base stadium, a couple of good launchers, and then once again, a pretty diverse collection. We have some GT bays, Sparking, Dynamite Battle, BU, still in those later few seasons. And they also said they're waiting to get some of the X bays as well, so their collection is just going to grow. We have an absolutely massive collection from Nico. Here is just the first container with a bunch of assorted parts. We have another container with assorted parts, and we see more Hasbro pieces, I think. Here's another container with some launchers and what looks to be Season 3 Chozi Beyblades, and it just keeps going, a whole GT pieces collection. Here's another container and a bunch of Chozi kind of layers spread out. Here's some MFB bays. We get some MFB representation. It's honestly crazy how rare some of these MFB bays are becoming, so having a collection even like this is awesome. In this picture, it looks like it was taken with a potato, but we see some plastic Jin bays here as well. So a really diverse and a huge collection from Nico. By the way, Nico, if you're watching this, come back to YouTube, please. We miss you. And here's a huge collection from Arc. And even color-coded it. You kind of blue at the top, the red at the bottom. I like that. There's a ton of burst bays here going from around Chozi, except for Spriggan Requiem, which is from Beyblade Burst God, all the way up to the last release, which was Barricade Lucifer. A ton of bays, but it's not over. They also have a ton of Metal Fight bays as well. Here we have a lot of assorted different drivers, a bunch of assorted spin tracks, energy rings, just a bunch of pieces of Beyblades. You are keeping them in plastic bags though. I don't know if I agree with that. You gotta put these into a container. And there's even more bays. These are some of the older releases for Beyblade Burst. A couple of questions though. Why do you need this many tridents? There's like 6 screw tridents here. They have 6 or 7 Christ Satans, 5 of the video game kind of 3DS Balders. Like, why do you need that many copies? Give me some. And of course, they have some of the rarest Metal Fight bays as well. I mean, look at this Jade Jupiter. I regret selling mine like 4 years ago for I think $70. Big mistake. This next one is from Instaburst, and it's kind of chaotic with how they spread out the Beyblade parts. But we can see bays like Hasbro bays from years ago with some more recent releases. A pretty big Metal Fight collection. They've been in the scene for a little while. I love the Bay Point card grips and the Bay Pointer right here. Probably my favorite Beyblade accessory. And they also have a really nice Beyblade X collection, which is not something we've seen in this video quite yet. And they have every Beyblade X bay that is released so far, including some 3D printed pieces for Shark Edge. How they got it, I'm not gonna say. It's a really nice assortment of bays from someone who's been in the community for a long time. This next one is from Chaos Master 100, which is absolutely massive. A ton of Metal Fight Beyblades here. We see a Jade Jupiter. We see some of the Zero G bays and some of the older Metal Fight bays like Pegasus and El Drago. And of course, they have a huge Beyblade Burst collection as well, with some of the older releases here at the top, just kind of going throughout the years. This might be every single Beyblade Burst like standard release, I think. There's a ton. They even have a ton of the rare Get bays like Amaterios, Balder, Orichalcum. Just a great collection. It's definitely better than mine. This next one is from the legendary Left Burst, and they have every Beyblade displayed perfect here. They all have their own little stands. They all have their own like labels saying what bay they are. And it's also, I believe, every single standard release for Beyblade Burst. Starting with the OG Beyblade Burst releases like Valkyrie, Spriggan, Ragnarok, going towards the final releases like the Versus set, and Barricade Lucifer. So what a fantastic collection, which is to be expected. It is Left Burst after all. I do want to know what stands these are though. Are these like 3D printed, or can I just buy these on Amazon? Because I want to steal this idea. Whatever this display idea is, it's mine now. But that's going to wrap up this video. If you liked it, hit the like button, hit subscribe to join the Nook Nation. I really want to hit 300,000 subs. And if you want me to do more collection reviews in the future, also let me know. But I'll see you in the next one. Have fun and bay away.